Hey there, friends! With all the buzz about Persona 6, I figured it was the perfect time to dive into this wild series. That's right, today we're diving into the Persona series, the game that mixes dungeon-crawling RPGs and high school life simulators. The Persona series was born when Atlus decided to create a more accessible entry point to the Megami Tensei universe. They chose a high school setting, believing it would resonate with a wider audience. So if you're wondering why we're about to be high schoolers for the next hour, that's why. To make things manageable, because these games are crazy long, we'll only cover the series' 6 main entries. Sorry, no spin-offs. But believe me, we'll cover enough wackiness to keep you at the edge of your seat. Anyways, when you are ready, grab a cookie and hot chocolate, sit back, and let's journey through the insane tale of Persona. Let's begin with the first entry in the Persona series, Revelations Persona, where high school drama meets supernatural shenanigans. The story unfolds in the quaint town of Mikage-cho, Japan, in the year 1996. At the heart of this tale is St. Hermelin High, where our cast of characters are all students in Class 4, under the guidance of their teacher, Saeko Takami. But this isn't your average high school. No, these students have a rather unusual extracurricular activity. You see, our protagonists have the power to summon personas, which are essentially manifestations of their hidden selves. Think of it as having your own personal superhero, but it's actually a part of you. This power isn't something they picked up in gym class, though. It's granted by a mysterious entity named Philemon, who's described as a being born from the collective unconscious. Philemon acts as a spiritual guide and helper to our heroes, appearing in both human form and as a butterfly. The player steps into the shoes of a silent protagonist, a second-year student who serves as their in-game avatar. But don't worry, you're not alone in this adventure. You're joined by a colorful cast of characters, each with their own unique quirks and backstories. There's Maki Sonomura, whose chronic ill health has left her with a bitter outlook on life. Then we have Kei Nanjo, a self-assured heir to a major family business. Yukino Mayuzumi brings some edge to the group as a former gang member who's turned over a new leaf thanks to Seiko's guidance. Hidehiko Uesugi, also known as Brown, is the tough guy of the group, but it's all a facade to mask his insecurities. Yuka Ayase plays up the high school girl stereotype. Think Valley Girl, but Japanese. Masao Inaba, aka Mark, is your classic rebellious rich kid. Rounding out the group is Ariko Kirishima, or Ellie, a half-American student with a keen interest in the occult. But what's a story without a villain? That would be Takahisa Kandori, the man running the local branch of Psyche, Electronics and Biological and Energy Corporation, or CBEC for short. Anyways, our tale begins with you, the protagonist, along with Brown, Yuka, and Mark, gathering to play a game called Persona. Meanwhile, Kei and Yukino watch from the sidelines, probably thinking nothing could go wrong. But spoiler alert, everything goes wrong. After you finish playing, the group sees a ghostly figure, and the sight is so shocking that you, Mark, Kei, and Yukino pass out cold.
What is... Huh? It's too late now to ask to... Whoa!
Help me.
What the... Yukino!
While unconscious, you get whisked away to the realm of Philemon. Now, Philemon isn't your typical dream character. He's a powerful being who decides to grant you the power of Persona. But this isn't just a congratulations, you've won a prize moment. Philemon warns that this new power will be needed soon. How ominous.
Welcome. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am Philemon, a dweller between consciousness and unconsciousness. But tell me this, are you aware of the many and varied selves you harbor within you? The self suffused with divine love, the self capable of demonic cruelty. People live by wearing different masks. Your current self may be only one of those innumerable masks. You, though, You have a very firm grip on your identity. I respect your strong will. In return, I grant this power. Persona. It is the power to summon the selves within you, the gods and the demons you harbor. The time is soon when you will need this power. Now, you must return to your proper time and place.
After the four of you recover from your supernatural encounter, your teacher Seiko suggests you get a checkup. While there, you also visit your classmate Maki, who's been dealing with long-term health issues. But the hospital visit takes a dark turn when Maki suddenly falls ill. As if that wasn't stressful enough, while you're waiting for news, the ICU where Maki is being treated literally vanishes into thin air. And just when you think things can't get any weirder, the town is suddenly under attack by demons. These aren't your garden variety monsters either. They're manifestations of people's inner darkness. You and your newly empowered friends don't waste time. You summon your personas to defend yourselves. Along the way, you meet up with Ellie, who joins your group. Together, you head to the town's Alaya Shrine, searching for Maki's mother, Setsuko. At the shrine, you find Setsuko, but she's been wounded by none other than Takahisa. Setsuko reveals that Takahisa is behind all the strange occurrences in town. His weapon of choice is a reality-altering machine called the Diva System. Your group decides to split up to handle this crisis. From this point, the story branches into two routes, the main Seebeck route and the alternative Snow Queen route. It seems you and your friends have some tough choices ahead. Seebeck route. Let's cover the Seebeck route first. In this route, you decide to take on the company head-on. A seemingly recovered Maki joins you, but before you can celebrate, Kei Nanjo informs you that Mark's been kidnapped by demons. You, Maki, and Kei mount a rescue mission for Mark. During this adventure, Maki starts acting strangely, forgetting crucial details like her hospital stay. After saving Mark, you infiltrate Seebeck and confront Takahisa Kondori. Just when you think you've cornered him, a mysterious girl in black named Aki appears and knocks you all out. When you wake up, you're in a bizarre world, an idealized version of Mikage-cho that's too good to be true. You eventually track down Kandori again, who reveals his grand plan, to become a god and find life's meaning. Classic villain move. After a fierce battle, Kandori gets possessed by his own persona, Nyarlathotep, before you finally defeat him. As Kandori dies, he makes a revelation. The Maki traveling with you isn't the real deal. She's Ideal Maki, a version created from the true Maki's heart. But wait, there's more. Aki and another girl in white, Mai, are also pieces of Maki. The perfect Mikage-cho you've been exploring, that's Maki's creation, brought to life when she accidentally linked with the Diva System. Your new mission is to help Maki avoid Kandori's path of isolation. You manage to convince Ideal Maki to accept her original self's unconscious world building and join your fixed reality squad. The adventure takes you to the Sea of Souls, the cosmic womb of all human life, to rescue the true Maki. But it's not over yet. You must face Pandora, another aspect of Maki who's decided that destroying everything with the Diva System is a great idea. In the final showdown, you defeat Pandora, causing all the Maki pieces to merge back into one. The town returns to normal, and Maki's health is fully restored. It's a miracle. To cap it all off, Philemon himself shows up to give you a cosmic pat on the back for a job well done. That's the Seebeck route completed.
Nothing more need be said. I'm sure you have all discovered by now your true selves. The smiles you wear are no longer false masks. You may find yourselves troubled or suffering or lost in the future, but there is nothing to fear. Look to your soul for your true self. No matter what trials you may face, that will be enough for you to weather the storm. Now go forth into your bright futures.
Snow Queen route. Let's now cover the Snow Queen route, which takes place in the real version of Mikage-cho, your hometown. You unlock this frosty adventure by investigating an urban legend about a cursed theatrical mask used in performances of the Snow Queen. Almost everyone who's worn it has died, except for your teacher Seiko, whose friend mysteriously vanished instead. Your curiosity leads you to find the mask, but things quickly snowball out of control when Seiko puts it on. Faster than you can say, let it go, she's possessed by a vengeful spirit and freezes the entire town of Mikage-cho. The possessed Seiko doesn't stop there. She conjures 3 ominous towers guarded by the spirits of the mask's previous victims. For her grand finale, she transforms your high school into her personal ice castle. You're not alone in this frosty fiasco, though. Yukino, Yuka, Ellie, Brown, and Kei join you on this quest to save Seiko and thaw out the town. Just when you're wondering how to tackle this icy issue, Philemon, your friendly neighborhood metaphysical being, pops in with some advice. He tells you that the key to saving Seiko is the demon mirror, which can break the mask's curse. As you battle through the frozen town, you discover the truth. The spirit possessing Seiko is Tomomi Fujimori, a former classmate who was horribly disfigured when she wore the mask in Seiko's place. Using the demon mirror, you manage to free Seiko and bring peace to Tomomi's tortured spirit. But wait, in a twist, you learn that Tomomi herself was under the control of the Night Queen Asura. This powerful entity has her sights set on a much bigger stage. She wants to plunge the entire world into darkness. Your final act involves confronting and defeating the Night Queen Asura. It's the ultimate battle of light versus darkness, with you and your friends in the starring roles. When you finally vanquish Asura, her dark influence over the town lifts, bringing this frosty fantasy to a close. And that brings us to the end of the first game, Revelations Persona. We are now onto the second entry, Persona 2 Innocent Sin, where high school drama meets cosmic prophecies. Innocent Sin takes place in the fictional seaside city of Sumaru, Japan, in the year 1999. With a population of over 1.28 million, though, Sumaru is no sleepy town. The story primarily revolves around students from 2 local high schools, Seven Sisters High School and Kasugayama High School. Seven Sisters is the cream of the crop, a prestigious school where our protagonist studies. Kasugayama, on the other hand, is the underdog of the educational world, with a reputation that's less than stellar. At the heart of the story is the Oracle of Maya, a prophecy that foretells a series of events leading to the world's end during a planetary alignment called the Grand Cross. Let's meet our cast of characters, shall we? Tatsuya Suo leads the pack as our protagonist. He's a senior at Seven Sisters and the quintessential brooding loner. Despite his attempts to blend into the wallpaper, though, Tatsuya is inexplicably popular. Lisa Silverman, nicknamed Ginkgo, is a second year at Seven Sisters. She's Caucasian but was raised in Japan. Eikichi Mishinya, who goes by Michelle, is the delinquent leader at Kasugayama High. He's proof that you can be a troublemaker and still save the world. Maya Amano brings some adult supervision to the team. She's a reporter for a teen magazine. Yukino Mayuzumi, or Yuki for short, is Maya's photographer and a former student of St. Hermelin High. She's the seasoned veteran of the group, having already dealt with Persona-related shenanigans in the past. Last but not least is Jun Kurosu. He's Tatsuya's childhood best friend and a third year at Kasugayama High. In the game, the gang finds themselves up against the Masked Circle, a mysterious group pulling the strings behind Sumeru's reality-bending rumors. And if that wasn't enough, there's also Nyarlathotep, the manifestation of humanity's collective unconscious, who's decided to play for the other team. With reality warping, prophecies unfolding, and cosmic forces at play, our heroes have their work cut out for them. The story kicks off with you, Tatsuya, and your classmate Lisa being lured by the eccentric Aikichi to his band's rehearsal space. Aikichi's grand plan is to recruit you into his band. But instead of a jam session, you end up in an argument that takes an unexpected turn when your personas suddenly manifest. Just as things are getting weird, Philemon, your friendly neighborhood metaphysical guide, pops in with a warning. Rumors are becoming reality in your city of Sumeru. In a moment of what can only be described as teenagers making questionable decisions, the group decides to play a game where they summon a mysterious figure called the Joker to grant a wish. Aikichi and his band members go first, and lo and behold, the Joker actually appears. But this is no party trick. The Joker drains everyone except Lisa of their ideal energy, essentially the essence of their hopes and dreams, using a crystal skull. The Joker then turns his attention to you, Lisa, and Aikichi, accusing you all of some unspecified sin, hence the name of the game. When you can't remember this mysterious transgression, the Joker leaves. As you and your friends try to unravel the mystery of the Joker's identity, you're joined by Maya and Yukino. Yukino, being the seasoned Persona user she is, explains your newfound abilities. Your investigation leads you into conflict with the executives of the Masked Circle, a cult led by the Joker. These aren't your average cultists, though. They're gathering ideal energy using assigned crystal skulls. The executive lineup includes King Leo, also known as Tatsuya Sudo, a deranged man with a burnt-out eye. Prince Taurus, or Ginji Sasaki, a sleazy record producer manipulating Lisa's girl group for his own ends. And Lady Scorpio, whose real name is Anna Yoshizaka, a former student at Seven Sisters who's been brainwashed by the group. As you confront these colorful characters, you slowly realize that the Masked Circle is fulfilling something called the Oracle of Maya. This ominous prophecy was recorded by Akaneri Kashihara, the father of your classmate June, under the influence of cosmic entity Nyarlathotep. After you and your friends defeat Tatsuzu Sudo and Ginji Sasaki, Philemon decides it's time for some group therapy. He directs you to the caverns beneath Sumeru City's Alaya Shrine. It's here that you're all about to get a crash course in your shared past. And it's not exactly a feel-good story. Let's rewind the clock 10 years. You, Aikichi, Lisa, and June were part of a little club called the Masked Circle. Think of it as a support group for kids with awkward home lives. Everything was going great until Maya, the group's de facto big sister, announced she had to leave. Now, kids aren't known for their rational thinking, and Aikichi and Lisa were no exception. In a misguided attempt to keep Maya around, they locked her in the Alaya Shrine. But it gets worse. Tatsuya Sudao, the local pyromaniac with a few screws loose, decides this is the perfect time to set the shrine on fire. It's only thanks to Maya awakening to her persona that she doesn't become barbecue. Sudo, not happy with just committing arson, tries to finish the job and kill Maya. That's when you step in, channeling your inner superhero. You summon your persona and burn out Sudo's eye. It's not exactly pretty, but hey, you got the job done. These events were so traumatic that everyone except Sudo collectively decided to hit the mental delete button. Everyone, that is, except Jun. Poor Jun, manipulated by Nyarlathotep, believes Maya died in the fire. Driven by guilt and a misplaced desire for revenge, he takes on the role of the Joker. His mission is to punish his former friends and grant people's wishes. As you confront the Joker and the final member of the Circle, who happens to be Jun's estranged mother, Junko Kurosu, things take an even weirder turn. A group of rumor-generated Nazis called the Last Battalion, led by a resurrected Hitler, yep, I'm not kidding, called the Führer, crashes the party. Because apparently your trauma-induced magical beings weren't enough drama for one day. In a moment of redemption, Junko realizes the gravity of her and Jun's actions. She sacrifices herself to protect Yun from an attack by the Führer, who's wielding the Spear of Destiny. It's a touching moment of maternal love, albeit a bit late in the game. After an intense battle, Jun finally sees the error of his ways and repents. This causes his ideal father to strip away his persona ability and take control of the Masked Circle. As if things weren't surreal enough, Sumeru City itself decides to start levitating. The entire city rises into the sky, becoming part of Shibalba, a spacecraft manifested through rumors surrounding the writings of Akaneri Kashihara. After Jun's rescue, Yukino decides to pull a "here, hold my persona" moment. With a little help from Philemon, she passes her persona powers to Jun. Meanwhile, Sumeru City has become a battleground for the weirdest war in history. On one side, you've got the Masked Circle, and on the other, the Last Battalion, a bunch of rumor-generated Nazis. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to return the city to normal. The plan is to snatch 5 elemental crystal skulls that these factions are fighting over. As you and your friends collect these mystical crystal skulls, everyone but Jun gets to experience the joy of confronting their shadow selves. These shadows are manifestations of your suppressed insecurities. On your way to grab the final skull from Xibalba's heart, you encounter a new obstacle. Maya Okamura, a former colleague of Akinari Kashihara, has gone off the deep end and is trying to fulfill the oracle. She's essentially trying to speedrun the apocalypse. When you finally reach Xibalba's heart, you face off against the Führer and the Ideal Father. But plot twist, they turn out to be Nyarlathotep in disguise. After the battle, Philemon shows up for some cosmic exposition. He explains that he and Nyarlathotep are manifestations of humanity's opposing feelings. Apparently, they've been having a celestial bet over whether humans can find a higher purpose while juggling contradictory emotions. Then Maya gets fatally wounded by Okamura with the Spear of Destiny. The oracle is fulfilled, and the world outside Sumeru City is decimated. But Philemon, being a problem solver, offers a solution. You can reverse Nyarlathotep's work by erasing the day you all first met as children. The catch is that you'll lose all your shared memories. You and your friends agree to this bittersweet deal. A new timeline is created where everyone's life has improved, but your friendship is forgotten.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad we met again. Next time, you're gonna join my band, got that? It's a promise. Don't forget.
Jinya, remember me, no matter what. I love you.
I won't forget. Not my sin, not you, not anyone. We'll meet again, and together we'll save Maya. So, I won't say goodbye, only thank you.
The final scene shows the group unknowingly crossing paths in front of a train station, with you bumping into Maya. It's a bittersweet moment of what could have been. And there you have it, friends, the story of Persona 2 Innocent Sin, a tale of friendship, sacrifice, and cosmic shenanigans.
Please, just forget about me. Go on without me.
Let's now cover the third entry in the Persona series, Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. Yup, we're still on the second game kind of, which makes things confusing. But the naming convention gets more straightforward from here. Eternal Punishment takes place in 1999, a few months after the mind-bending events of Innocent Sin. We're back in Sumeru, our fictional Japanese seaside city. Just like in Innocent Sin, our story revolves around characters from 2 high schools, Seven Sisters and Kasugayama. But there's a twist. Remember how in Innocent Sin, the world was destroyed except for Sumeru City? Well, in Eternal Punishment, we're dealing with the aftermath. Our heroes use the collective unconscious to create an alternate timeline, erasing the key event that started it all. The original timeline is now called The Other Side. And we get a new protagonist, Maya Amano, who steps up from supporting character in Innocent Sin to lead role in Eternal Punishment. She's joined by some familiar faces and new ones. Tatsuya Suo, our protagonist from Innocent Sin, is back, but now as a supporting character. Ulala Serizawa and Baofu are new characters joining the fray. Katsuya Suo, Tatsuya's brother, who played a minor role in Innocent Sin, now steps into the spotlight. On the villain side, we've got a mix of old and new. We're reintroduced to Takahisa Kandori, who is resurrected from Revelation's persona. We also meet Tatsuzu Sudo, a new character who's Tatsuya Sudo's father. Lastly, while the other protagonists from Innocent Sin, Aikichi, Lisa, and Jun, take a back seat, we get Kei Nanjo and Eriko Kirishima from Revelation's persona as supporting characters and optional party members. With all that out of the way, let's begin our story. You are Maya, a plucky reporter for Coolest magazine, and your latest assignment is to cover the bizarre Joker phenomenon. Apparently, if you call your own number, this Joker character will show up and kill on request. Your investigation leads you to Seven Sisters High School, where you team up with your friend Ulala Serizawa and the dashing police sergeant Katsuya Suo. Instead of finding a juicy scoop, though, you stumble upon a grisly murder scene. Turns out the school principal has been killed by the Joker himself. But it gets weirder. The Joker attacks your group, forcing each of you to summon your persona. After the Joker knocks you all out, you're contacted by Philemon, who warns you about a growing danger to the city. When you wake up, you, Ulala, and Katsuya chase the Joker into the school's clock tower. There, you witness him trying to force a student to remember something about Innocent Sin. Before things get too grim, you're saved by Tatsuya Suo, who cryptically tells you to forget about him. Katsuya then gets taken off the case by his boss, Captain Shimazu. But does he let that stop him? Of course not. He teams up with you and Ulala to continue the Joker hunt. Along the way, you join forces with Baofu, a former prosecutor with a vendetta, who believes that Tatsuya Sudo and his father Tatsuzu are involved with the Joker. Your investigation takes you to a mental institution where Tatsuya is held. But it's revelation time. Tatsuzu has sent Taiwanese mafia hitmen to kill his own son. When confronted, Sudo makes two confessions. He admits to being the Joker and reveals he's trying to bring back something called the Other Side. The chase continues to the Sky Museum, where you run into Tatsuya again and save Jun from Sudo, who's decided to spice things up a bit by setting the building on fire. You escape with the museum visitors on a blimp, but Sudo, despite being injured, launches a final attack, damaging the blimp. Tatsuya ultimately kills Sudo, saving the day. But just when you think it's all over, Tatsuya disappears, leaving you and your team with more questions than answers. You and your crew return to Samaru City, only to find that the Joker situation has gone viral, and not in a fun, internet meme kind of way. Negative emotions are turning regular citizens into new Jokers, and as if that wasn't bad enough, these Jokers are being kidnapped by Tatsuzu's goons. As you dig deeper, you uncover a conspiracy. Tatsuzu isn't just a corrupt politician. He's the leader of a secret organization called the New World Order. These guys are pulling strings in Samaru's government, corporations, and media. You learn about two other investigators, Kei Nanjo and Eriko Kirishima, who are also looking into the New World Order. They're particularly interested in the organization's connections to the Joker curse and a suspiciously popular fortune-telling craze that's being used to spread rumors. But why are they so invested? Well, it turns out an old enemy of theirs, Takahisa Kandori, is back from the dead and helping Tatsuzu. Depending on your actions, either Kei or Eriko will join your party as you head off to investigate where the new Jokers are being held. When you arrive, you find your old pal Aikichi in a pickle. He's been captured by Kandori while searching for a friend. Kandori tries to awaken Aikichi's memories of the Other Side, but Tatsuya swoops in to save the day, helping you all escape. The hits keep coming as you and your team rush to save Lisa and her girl group from their shady promoter, who turns out to be another Order member. Once again, Tatsuya lends a hand before disappearing. Finally, thanks to a friendly mole in the police force, you learn the New World Order's master plan, and it's pretty intense. They want to raise Sumeru City into space on a rumor-generated spaceship called Torfune, trigger the destruction of Earth's surface using sacred dragons, and create a new world free of sin. How, you ask? Well, by concentrating a negative energy called Kagare. The only way to stop this celestial catastrophe is to defeat the Order. After a game of cat and mouse with Tatsuzu and being thoroughly puzzled by Tatsuya's cryptic behavior, you and your team finally convince Tatsuya to tell the truth. You finally learn that in the alternate reality, the other side, you, Maya, were killed during a fight with Nyarlathotep. This prompted Tatsuya and the gang, Lisa, Jun, and Aikichi, to forget these memories. However, Tatsuya, being a rebel, refused to forget the events of the other side. This created a dangerous loophole. If all the original group members remember their past lives, the other side would come crashing back into existence, obliterating your current reality. After this revelation, Tatsuya joins your party, replacing either Kei or Eriko. But before you can process this drama, Tatsuzu decides it's the perfect time to turn Sumeru into a flying city. That's right, the entire city becomes part of Torafune, the rumor-generated spaceship. You and your team manage to infiltrate the spaceship and defeat Tatsuzu and his so-called God Gozen. The city returns back down to the ground, but your troubles are far from over. Nyarlathotep drags you all into the collective unconscious. Inside this mental maze, you discover he has kidnapped Aikichi, Lisa, and Jun. His diabolical plan is to force their memories of the other side into reality. You then battle through shadow selves to save each of them. Finally, you confront Nyarlathotep himself, who takes a moment from his busy schedule of cosmic manipulation to mock Tatsuya for not holding up his end of Philemon's bargain. After an epic battle, you defeat Nyarlathotep. In the aftermath, Tatsuya finally fulfills his side of the cosmic deal. He says his goodbyes and separates his other side consciousness from his current self.
We went through a lot, but I'm glad we met again. Don't forget what you promised, dude.
Tatsuya, don't forget me. I do love you.
Don't forget. Or say goodbye, just think.
I don't want to forget what happened. How can I forget? Guys, don't go. Don't leave me alone. Please, no. Please, no. No!
With the city back to normal, or as normal as it gets after being a spaceship, you all return to your daily lives. In a bittersweet moment, you, aka Maya, briefly see Tatsuya, but choose not to approach him, preserving the reset reality. And that brings us to the end of Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. What a wild ride. Next up is Persona 3, the fourth entry in the series. Let's see what this story is about, shall we? The year is 2009, and our story unfolds in the city of Tatsumi Port Island. Built and funded by the Kirijo Corporation, this seemingly normal place hides a dark secret. 10 years ago, some overzealous scientists decided to play God and accidentally created the dark hour, a hidden time that exists between one day and the next. During this eerie hour, most people are blissfully unaware of the danger lurking in the shadows. But for a select few, the dark hour is all too real. As if that wasn't spooky enough, reality itself warps during this time. Gekuken High School, where our heroes spend their days studying and socializing, transforms into a tower called Tartarus. This structure is home to shadows, creatures that feast on the minds of the conscious, leaving their victims in a near-vegetative state outside the dark hour. Our protagonists are part of the Specialized Extracurricular Execution Squad, or SEAS. This group of high school students isn't your average after-school club. They're on a mission to investigate the dark hour, shadows, and Tartarus. Their secret weapon is their personas, the manifestations of their inner selves that they can summon to fight shadows. How do they call forth these powerful beings, you ask? Well, by performing a certain action with an object called an evoker, which I am not going to describe because YouTube might think this is a very different kind of video. Now, let's meet our characters. You play as a nameless protagonist, a transfer student returning to his childhood city after being orphaned a decade ago. Upon discovering his persona-wielding abilities, he joins SEAS and meets a colorful cast of classmates. Yukari Takeba, the popular girl with a cheerful demeanor and a mean persona. Junpei Yori, your best friend and the class clown who's always ready for action. Akihiko Sanada, a cool and collected senior who leads the school's boxing team when he's not fighting shadows. Mitsuru Kirijo, the student council president and daughter of the Kirijo group's leader, providing battle support and probably acing her exams. With this ragtag group of teenagers out of the way, let's begin our story. You arrive at Gekuken High School, ready for a fresh start in a new city. But on your third night, just as you're settling in, the clock strikes midnight and you enter the dark hour. Suddenly you're attacked by these shadows, and surprised you awaken to your persona. But don't worry, you're not alone in this madness, as you're quickly recruited by SEAS. As you settle into your new routine of daytime student and nighttime monster slayer, you notice a pattern. Every full moon, a particularly nasty shadow shows up to wreak havoc on the city. After a few of these lunar battles, Mitsuru Kirijo, your senpai and team member, finally tells you the truth about Tartarus and the Dark Hour's origin. Turns out, 10 years ago, the Kirijo group, Mitsuru's family business, decided it would be a great idea to collect shadows and try to harness their power. But surprise, it wasn't. The experiment went sideways, shadows escaped, and 12 supersized shadows were born. Your team leader, Shuji Ikutsuki, tells you that defeating these 12 bosses will make Tartarus and the Dark Hour disappear. During a beach vacation in Yakushima, you meet Aegis, a robot girl with a persona and an unexplainable urge to be your bestie, so she joins your team. After defeating what you think is the final shadow, there's a plot twist. Ikutsuki reveals he's been lying to you all along. By defeating the 12 shadows, you've actually been freeing parts of a being called Nyx, also known as the maternal being. If fully restored, Nyx will bring about the end of the world. She's basically the Shadow's creator, drawn to Earth by something called the Appriser, or Death. In the ensuing chaos, Ikutsuki meets his end in a dramatic fight with Takaharu Kirijo, Mitsuru's father.
Blast it! I guess execute the sacrifices now! I'm putting an end to this!
I guess!
Hey, come on, I know you wouldn't do this!
Do it, I guess! What?
Father!
You don't get it, do you? Why do you waste your time searching for a reason to live in this broken world? There's no point to it at all. The only possible way to fix this is to start over! Yes, I was chosen. I'm going to be the god of the new world! What a shame. I was so close.
Afterwards, you meet Ryoji Mochizuki, the new transfer student who's about to turn your world upside down. Seize soon discovers that Ryoji is actually the Appriser, the harbinger of the end times. In December, Aigis and Ryoji make a huge reveal. Those shadow experiments from 10 years ago created the Death Shadow, but it was not quite done. Aigis couldn't defeat this Death Shadow, so she did what any rational being would do. She sealed it inside you, who were just a kid at the time. Surprise! You've been carrying around the apocalypse since elementary school. Ryoji explains that his purpose is to usher in Nyx and bring about the extinction of all life on Earth, but he offers you a choice. Kill him and everyone's memories of the Dark Hour and Tartarus will be erased. You'll all live in blissful ignorance until Nyx brings about the fall and humanity kicks the bucket. Or spare him and face certain doom. If you choose to kill him, we fast forward to graduation day. Everyone in the group, except Aigis, forgets about the Dark Hour and Shadows. You all live happily ever after until Nyx shows up and humanity goes extinct. Not exactly the happy ending you were hoping for. But if you spare Ryoji, buckle up for the boss fight. On January 31st, Seize climbs to the roof of Tartarus to face Ryoji, who's now transformed into the Nyx avatar. An epic fight ensues, and you emerge victorious. But even after defeating the Nyx avatar, Nyx continues her descent to Earth. In a mystical moment, however, you awaken the power of the universe. How mystical. With this new cosmic power, you manage to seal away Nyx and return the world to normal. Fast forward to graduation day, and you and Aigis head to the school roof for a heart-to-heart. Aigis thanks you for giving her life purpose, protecting you. As you stand there, feeling unusually tired and unwell, you close your eyes, and you suddenly die.
When I thought about how I might never see you again, that's when I first understood what mattered to me the most. And so, I made up my mind. What I want is to protect you from now until the end of time. I want to stay by your side. And I know I'm not the only one out there who could do this. But still, I want to. Because I'm positive, if I do it for you, then nothing's a waste. My life will have meaning. So, thank you. Thank you so much for everything. You must be tired. Go ahead and rest now. I'll be right here. I won't be going anywhere. In a moment, the others will be joining us.
But our journey is not over. We fast forward to March 31st, and the Seize gang is left speculating whether the protagonist's heroic face-off with Nyx had something to do with his untimely departure. As the school year ends and the dorm is about to close, Seize gathers for one last hurrah. But their farewell dinner party takes an unexpected turn when they find themselves trapped in a time loop, reliving March 31st over and over. Just when they think things can't get weirder, a mysterious door-like hole appears in the dorm floor. We meet Metis, an anti-shadow weapon who looks like she could be Aigis' long-lost sister. She attacks the group, prompting Aigis to awaken to the wildcard ability, which is the same power that the protagonist wielded. After subduing Metis, who claims she's just trying to save her sister from the time loop, the group discovers the abyss of time beneath the dorm. This multi-layered dungeon is like a trip through C's greatest hits, with each level revealing memories of the characters awakening to their personas. At the bottom of the final door, C's faces off against a shadow version of the protagonist. After defeating this doppelganger, each member receives a key. Put them together, and voila, they can end the time loop and leave the dorm. But Metis throws a wrench in the plan by suggesting they could use the keys to travel back in time, potentially preventing the protagonist's death. Suddenly, Seas is divided, and what started as a simple key-collecting quest turns into a full-blown philosophical debate. In the ensuing chaos, Aigis and Metis snag all 8 keys, which fuse into the final key. But before they can decide what to do, a new door appears in the abyss of time. Unable to resist the call of adventure, the group uses this door to travel back to the moment when the protagonist sealed away Nyx. Metis then reveals a startling truth about the seal we fought so hard to create. It wasn't meant to lock away Nyx herself, but to prevent humanity's collective despair from summoning her again. Metis explains that humanity's unconscious wish for death constantly gives birth to a monster called Erebus. This creature, born from our own darkest desires, is the one responsible for calling out to Nyx and bringing about the fall. The implications are heavy. Our own inner turmoil is the true enemy we've been fighting all along. As this revelation sinks in, we realize that the wishes that created Erebus came from us too. With this newfound understanding, Seas faces Erebus in battle, determined to confront and overcome its own despair. After a hard-fought victory, Mitsuru soberly points out that Erebus will inevitably return. As long as humans harbor the wish for death, this cycle will continue. With the time loop finally broken, Seas uses the final key to exit the dormitory. But there's one last surprise in store. We learn that Metis is actually a manifestation of her sister's suppressed human emotions. Then Aigis merges with Metis, fully embracing her humanity. As our adventure comes to a close, Seas makes a collective decision. In honor of the protagonist's sacrifice, they vow to live their lives to the fullest, carrying the weight of their experiences and the hope for humanity's future. It's a bittersweet ending, but one that leaves them with a sense of purpose.
It's weirdly kinda sad to leave, huh?
Yes, but change is part of life.
Hey, so if you're gonna live in the dorms next year, do you want to be roommates?
Huh?
I imagine you still need one. And also, it just makes sense, you know? Because we're friends, aren't we?
Yeah, let's do it!
And there you have it, the story of Persona 3, from transfer student to world savior to, well, dead. But, as they say, all's well that ends well. We are now on to Persona 4. The story unfolds in the rural town of Inaba, Japan, in 2011. Don't let this sleepy countryside setting fool you. Inaba is about to become the center of some seriously weird stuff. Bodies are showing up dangling from TV antennas, and nobody can figure out how they died. But that's not even the strangest part. There's a crazy rumor going around town. Apparently, if you stare at a switched-off TV at midnight on a rainy night, you'll see your soulmate. Our hero is a city boy who moves to this not-so-peaceful town to stay with his detective uncle Ryotaro and adorable little cousin Nanako while his parents work abroad. He's your typical silent protagonist. You know the type. The quiet transfer student who somehow becomes the most popular kid in school within like 5 minutes of arriving. At Yasogami High, our protagonist quickly makes friends with a colorful cast of characters. Yosuke Hanamura, the somewhat clumsy son of the Junez department store manager, who's basically the town's resident city boy scapegoat. Chie Sadonaka, a meat-loving martial arts enthusiast who will absolutely kick you into next week if you mess with her DVD collection. Yukiko Amagi, the elegant inn heiress with a surprisingly dangerous laughing fit and a secret desire to escape her predetermined future. Now, let's begin the story. You step off the train in Inaba on April 11, 2011, suitcase in hand. Little did you know you were about to star in your very own supernatural mystery. The ink on your transfer paperwork is barely dry when, bam, the town is rocked by a murder straight out of a horror flick. A TV announcer named Mayumi Yamano is found dead, dangling from an antenna like some twisted art installation. As if that wasn't freaky enough, Saki Konishi, the high school student who discovered the body, turns up dead herself a few days later, hanging upside down from a telephone pole. Then things get really weird. While testing out that midnight TV rumor I mentioned earlier, you and your new buddies Yosuke and Chie somehow tumble headfirst into a TV set and end up in a foggy parallel dimension. It's here you meet Teddy, a hollow bear costume with no one inside who speaks entirely in unbearable puns. This adorable weirdo becomes your guide between the TV world and reality. It's in this fog-shrouded realm that you all awaken to your persona abilities, realizing these murders aren't just random acts of violence. They're connected to shadows, those nasty manifestations of repressed emotions gone wild. Just when you think you've got it figured out, a kid named Mitsuo Kubo from another school pops up claiming credit for the killings. Case closed, right? Well, not so fast. This attention-seeking copycat only offed your foul-mouthed homeroom teacher. The real killer is still out there, and they're not done yet. We then meet Naoto Shiragan, the pint-sized detective prince who joins our mystery-solving crew. And turns out she's actually a girl in disguise. Naoto's been hiding her gender to overcome the police department's old-school sexism. After you rescue her from the TV world and she awakens to her persona, she brings her sharp detective skills to your growing team of misfits. Things take a serious turn when your Uncle Ryotaro finds a threatening letter from the killer and realizes you're knee-deep in this mess. During your uncomfortable interrogation, disaster strikes. Your adorable cousin Nanako gets kidnapped, leading to a wild car chase that ends with both your uncle and the kidnapper crashing their vehicles.
Hang in there, Nanako. Daddy's coming for you.
The culprit, Taro Namatami, makes his escape by, you guessed it, jumping into a TV in his truck with Nanako. With your uncle hospitalized, it's up to you and your friends to save the day. You track them down in the TV world, but Namatame isn't going down without a fight. He transforms into the monstrous Kunino Sagiri. After an intense battle, you save Nanako, but she falls into a coma. Meanwhile, the real world is being consumed by a mysterious fog, sending Inaba into full-blown panic mode. When Nanako appears to die in the hospital, your grief-stricken friends are ready to throw Namatame into the TV world for revenge. This is where the game's path splits based on your choices. If you let anger cloud your judgment and agree to toss Namatame into the TV, congratulations, you've just unlocked the bad ending. The fog permanently consumes Inaba, humanity slowly transforms into shadows, and Nanako stays dead. But if you keep a cool head and carefully examine the evidence, you'll realize something doesn't add up about Namatame being the killer. This crucial deduction leads to Nanako miraculously recovering and opens up the path to continue the story. When you finally interrogate Namatame properly, a shocking truth emerges. The poor guy actually thought he was saving people by pushing them into TVs. He saw the victims on the Midnight Channel before they were kidnapped and believed they would be safer in the TV world. The true murderer has been hiding in plain sight all along. It's none other than Toru Adachi, your uncle's seemingly incompetent assistant. When confronted with evidence, Adachi drops his bumbling act and vanishes into the TV. Chasing him into the foggy dimension, you discover Adachi orchestrated this whole murder spree out of, wait for it, sheer boredom. That and some twisted philosophy about how people prefer comfortable lies to harsh truths. He confesses to throwing Mitsuo into the TV just to keep his game going longer. Before you can bring him to justice, Adachi gets possessed by Amino Sagiri, who reveals the mysterious fog is actually harmful to humans and will eventually transform everyone into shadows. After an epic boss battle, you defeat Amino Sagiri, who agrees to lift the fog. Adachi, finally seeing the error of his ways, surrenders to face justice. The case appears solved, and you prepare to leave Inaba as your year abroad comes to an end. This leads to another choice. If you go straight home to pack on your final day, you'll get the normal ending. Credits roll, mystery solved, but something feels incomplete. However, if you decide to gather your friends one last time to review the case, you'll unlock the path to the true ending. You realize there's still an unanswered question. Who started this whole chain of events? Following this thread leads you to confront that seemingly innocent gas station attendant from your very first day in Inaba. Surprise, she's actually Izanami no Okami, the divine puppet master behind everything. She reveals her grand scheme to merge the TV world with reality, creating a realm of fog-filled illusion for humanity's sake. The final battle pushes you and your friends to the absolute limit, but the power of your social bonds awakens your ultimate persona, Izanagi no Okami. With this new power, you defeat Izanami, lifting the fog permanently and restoring balance to both worlds.
All gone. Wow.
It's nice. It feels kinda nostalgic.
I know this place. This scenery. A long, long time ago, everywhere in this world used to look like this.
So this is the world inside people's hearts.
It feels nice. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The true ending closes with a heartfelt farewell as you board the train to leave Inaba, your friends running alongside to say goodbye. The final scene shows you looking fondly at a group photo, a memento of the unbreakable bonds you forged during what turned out to be quite an eventful year in the countryside.
Well, see ya.
Good luck over there, too.
If anything happens on your end, we'll come running. Until we meet again, Senpai.
Senpai, I'll be waiting for you.
See ya. Take care.
I'll be looking forward to seeing you again.
Well, be careful.
I'll see you, Big Bro. Bye-bye. Thank you for everything. Stay well until we meet again someday.
You'll always be my sensei forever!
Please don't forget about us over there.
I love you, Senpai.
I'll do my best! You better not run away too, Senpai!
I'll always remember our time together.
Distance doesn't matter to us! Even if we're separated, we're still friends!
Take care.
Bye, Senpai!
I'll miss you.
He's really gone.
It's sad that he won't be around, but we'll be okay, right, guys?
Doesn't matter how far apart we are. The bonds we've made will remain strong. Everyone's heart is connected to the people they know and trust. It's those bonds that let us all search for our purpose in life. As long as it's a purpose you believe in, there will always be someone who can help you fulfill it. You, me, and everyone else. There are no barriers. Our hearts are one, right, Sensei?
Persona 4 Golden. Now, let's quickly cover Persona 4 Golden, the enhanced version that adds even more madness to our Inaba adventure. Golden adds 2 new social links that completely change the game's ending possibilities. First up, you get a chance to bond with Tohru Adachi, the very same detective who turned out to be the murderous psychopath. If you play your cards right, you can choose to keep Adachi's secret and become his partner in crime. This leads to the accomplice ending, where you essentially become the worst detective ever. On your final day in Inaba, you actually destroy evidence for Adachi. The game's ending plays out normally, but after the credits roll, there's a chilling scene where you pass Adachi at a level crossing. He gives you that smug, "we got away with it" smirk, and you're left feeling like the scummiest person alive. Second, there's Marie, a mysterious amnesiac with an attitude problem who hangs out in the Velvet Room. If you help this snarky poetry enthusiast recover her memories, you unlock a whole new adventure. After you defeat Amino Sagiri, Marie vanishes without a trace, which leads to a ski trip that's less about shredding powder and more about, you guessed it, saving the world. During this winter getaway, you and your friends stumble upon a cabin with a TV inside. Because the sensible thing to do when finding a random TV is to jump right in, you do just that. This leads you to the Hollow Forest, where Marie has locked herself away. We then learn that Marie is actually Kusumi no Okami, the divine spy created by Amino Sagiri to observe humanity. With Amino Sagiri defeated, she's absorbed all the fog into her body and plans to sacrifice herself to save the world. But you and your friends aren't having any of that noble sacrifice nonsense, so you fight and free her from the fog's control. If you manage to both save Marie and defeat Izanami no Okami, you unlock the super special golden ending. In this grand finale, Marie drops another truth bomb. She's actually Izanami no Makoto, the true form of the goddess Izanami, who originally wanted to protect humanity before her wishes got all twisted and fragmented. The golden ending fast forwards to late August, 5 months after you've left Inaba. You return for a summer visit and find that everyone's lives have moved on in surprising ways. Taro Namatame is running for mayor, which is quite the career change. Adachi is apparently a model prisoner, and Marie is now a weather-controlling TV personality. The game closes with a heartwarming welcome home party, where adorable Nanako leads everyone in greeting you. As your friends bicker and laugh about saying the wrong lines during your welcome, you can't help but smile. Despite all the murder, fog monsters, and world-ending threats, the bonds you formed in this weird little town are genuinely real.
Your cooking is barely food, Chie.
Hey, shut up!
What about mine?
Let's go, Yosuke.
I could have made something too.
Please don't.
What was that?
I can cook if I put my mind to it.
So can I.
That's...
Gotcha. Got it?
Oh, yeah?
Well then. 1 and...
It's good to see you, Senpai.
Kanji, it was welcome back. How could you mess that up?
Hey, just shut up, all right? I just got stage fright, that's all.
I figured someone would blow it.
And that brings us to the end of Persona 4. We are now onto the last entry in the series, Persona 5. The game takes place in a version of modern-day Tokyo, sometime in the ambiguous 20XX, but it's basically 2016, let's be real. Our adventure kicks off in April and takes us through a full year of absolute madness. During daylight hours, you're just another kid at Shujin Academy trying to survive pop quizzes and cafeteria food. But when school's out, you're slipping into the metaverse. This crazy parallel dimension is basically humanity's collective subconscious given physical form. You see, every corrupt adult with twisted desires gets their own special dungeon called a palace. Imagine a real-world location but cranked up to 11 and warped by someone's messed up mind. Inside each palace lurks a shadow, the manifestation of someone's true self when they're not bothering to hide their awful personality. These shadows guard treasures that represent their owner's deepest desires. Our main character is codenamed Joker, the silent brooding type who somehow becomes the leader of the Phantom Thieves of Hearts. This group of teenage vigilantes makes it their mission to sneak into the metaverse and change the hearts of corrupt adults. They're basically supernatural rehabilitation specialists with cool masks. Let's now dive into the story. Our tale begins with a flashback, where Sai Nijima, a prosecutor, is grilling you for answers. We learn that you're in this mess because you tried to be a good Samaritan and prevent an assault, and your reward is apparently getting framed. The judge slaps you with a year-long probation and ships you off to Tokyo. So there you are in the big city, housed by a family friend named Sojiro Sakura. He runs a coffee shop called LeBlanc, and congratulations, the dusty attic is now your bedroom. You're enrolled at Shujin Academy, where the school staff treats you like you've got the word criminal tattooed on your forehead. One night, you're yanked into the Velvet Room, where Igor warns you about impending doom and hooks you up with a supernatural smartphone app, because in 2016, apparently even the apocalypse has an app. This mysterious app leads you and your new buddy Ryuji Sakamoto, the school's resident problem child, into the metaverse and straight into the palace of Suguru Kamoshida. Inside this twisted castle, you're captured by Shadow Kamoshida, and just when things look grim, you awaken to your persona. With a burst of blue flame and some seriously stylish moves, you save Ryuji from being executed. Down in the palace depths, you bump into Morgana, a creature who looks like a cat, sounds like a cat, but will absolutely fight you if you call him a cat. Morgana explains that by stealing a palace ruler's treasure, you can change their heart and make them confess their crimes. Soon after, Ann Takamaki joins your crew after Kamoshida's harassment pushes her friend to the brink, and voila, the Phantom Thieves of Hearts are born. Your first target is Kamoshida, of course. As you navigate Tokyo's corrupt underbelly, your merry band of teenage vigilantes grows. Yusuke Kitagawa signs up after you help him see the truth about his plagiarizing art mentor. Makoto Nijima, the student council president, discovers her inner rebel and hops aboard. Futaba Sakura, who hasn't left her bedroom in years and can hack into pretty much anything with a circuit board, joins up to uncover the truth about her mother's death. And finally, Haru Okumura, a fluffy-haired heiress with a passion for gardening and breaking free from the control of her corporate mogul father, rounds out your crew. With each palace you conquer, your Phantom Thieves' reputation grows as you take down a sleazy art plagiarist, a mob boss extorting students, and even help Futaba overcome her own cognitive distortions. Each successful heart-stealing mission gets broadcast to the public through dramatic calling cards and subsequent confessions from your targets. Before you know it, though, your approval ratings are through the roof. People are setting up Phantom Thieves fan sites, merchandise is flying off shelves, and you're the talk of Tokyo. The public can't get enough of these mysterious vigilantes delivering justice where the system has failed. But not everyone's a fan of your extracurricular activities. The authorities, particularly Prosecutor Sai, who is Makoto's scary older sister, and the celebrity detective Goro Akechi, are determined to unmask the Phantom Thieves. Akechi is particularly vocal, appearing on TV talk shows to denounce your methods while flipping his perfect hair. As your targets get bigger, you stumble onto a massive conspiracy. We're talking corruption that goes all the way to the tippy top of Japan's power structure. Your next big target becomes Kunikazu Okumura, Haru's father and CEO of a massive fast food empire built on exploiting workers. But just when the Phantom Thieves are at the height of their popularity, disaster strikes. A masked assassin crashes your Okumura heist and frames you for murdering Haru's dad on live television. Your approval ratings plummet, and suddenly everyone who loved you is calling for your heads.
Okumura-san?
Just when you think things can't get more complicated, Goro Akechi, that pretty boy detective who's been criticizing you on TV, suddenly wants to join your crew. He claims he's figured out your identities and gives you an ultimatum. Let him join, or he'll turn you in. He suggests targeting Sai's palace next, which turns out to be about the worst idea possible. After raiding her casino-themed palace, the story comes full circle and you're back in that interrogation room with Sai drilling you for answers. This is where all those charm points from playing darts and drinking coffee come in handy, as you try to convince her you're not actually the criminal mastermind everyone thinks you are. Meanwhile, Akechi shows his true colors. He was the assassin all along. He tries to put a bullet in your head, but you and your friends already saw this double cross coming from a mile away and used the metaverse to fake your death.
Have you finally pieced it all together? Case closed. This is how your justice ends.
With Sai and Sojiro now on Team Phantom Thief, you go deeper underground and discover the big boss pulling all the strings, Masayoshi Shido. That's the same jerk who framed you in the beginning. And it turns out this politician's been using Akechi as his personal metaverse hitman to clear a path to the Prime Minister's office. When you storm Shido's cruise ship palace, Akechi drops another truth. He's actually Shido's illegitimate son, and this whole revenge scheme has been one giant, elaborate daddy issues therapy session. After a knockdown, drag-out battle, Akechi has a change of heart and sacrifices himself to save your team. You finally take down Shido, and he confesses to all his crimes on national television. Victory lap time, right? Well, not so fast. The public is still weirdly obsessed with the guy. Something fishy is definitely going on here. This leads you to your ultimate target, Mementos itself, the palace of everyone's hearts. Deep inside this twisted subway system, you discover that the public has collectively decided free will is overrated. Before you can process this disturbing revelation, the treasure, which turns out to be the Holy Grail, literally spits you out of Mementos. Just then, you wake up in the Velvet Room for a major plot twist. Caroline and Justine, those adorable prison warden twins, fusion dance into Lavenza, revealing that Igor has been an imposter all along. The real puppet master is Yaldabaoth, the god of control, who's basically what happens when you take humanity's desire to avoid responsibility and give it godhood. The cherry on top is that you and Akechi were basically lab rats in a divine experiment between Yaldabaoth and the real Igor, testing whether humanity can overcome its inner conflicts. Feeling generous in his godly way, though, Yaldabaoth offers you a deal. He'll reset the world, but humanity gives up free will. If you take this bargain, you'll trigger the bad ending. The Phantom Thieves become super famous again, topping popularity charts across Japan. Sure, humanity is basically running on autopilot, but hey, at least you've got fans. Not exactly the freedom you've been fighting for all this time, though. But if you tell him where to shove his offer, this leads to the true ending path. You reunite with your Phantom Thief buddies for the ultimate showdown. While you're battling this divine puppeteer, something amazing happens. All those people you've bonded with throughout the year start rallying public support. This wave of belief enables you to summon Satanael, your ultimate persona, who's literally big enough to pierce the heavens with a massive gun. With one perfectly aimed shot, you destroy Yaldabaoth and the entire metaverse along with him. It's a victory for free will and a valuable lesson for any deity thinking they can mess with Tokyo's teenagers.
Be gone.
Preposterous! You dare wrong the people's wishes!
But the story doesn't end there. After you take down the god of control, you make a decision, willingly turning yourself into the police. Why on earth would you do this? Well, to make sure that sleazeball Shido actually faces justice for his crimes. While you're making friends with prison bars, your gang doesn't just sit around moping, though. Those bonds you spent all year building are paying off big time. Your friends and confidants scramble around Tokyo, gathering evidence to prove your innocence in that original assault charge. All that hard work doesn't go to waste. Your conviction gets overturned. As cherry blossoms bloom in the spring, your friends cram into a van and drive you back to your hometown. And that wraps up the original Persona 5, from falsely accused troublemaker to world-saving hero, all within the span of a school year.
After we said we'd disband, my word.
Sorry about the weird parking job. The engine just died on us right here.
Hey, Morgana, are you done yet?
Why the heck am I in charge of the car again?
And And I thought we were done.
It's fine. We're on break. Exams are done too, right? Come on, why don't you let us drive you home? You really, really gotta go?
Come on, man. Nobody's forcing you to leave, you know? Wiping your slate clean ain't so easy. You see what I mean?
Hmm?
Things must be slow these days.
Don't mind them. What they think of us doesn't really matter.
Yeah, she's right. We can totally do whatever we want to do.
The car's fixed. Just had to borrow a plug. Nice job on the first try.
All right, let's roll.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why won't it start? We're gonna lose him.
It was fine just a second ago. Anyways, now that we gotcha, we ain't taking you straight home.
Hey, can I ask something? My friend's in trouble, and I'd like everyone's input. Ooh, that sounds like fun.
If this is any more work, count me out.
You know you want to, Inari.
I'm getting out.
Why'd you open the whoa!
Let me off.
Stop moving around. Come on, Mona-chan. That's dangerous.
But hold on to your masks, friends, because now we have to cover Persona 5 Royal. In this game, your already chaotic year gets 2 new characters thrown into the mix. Kasumi Yoshizawa, a gymnast, and Takuto Maruki, a school counselor. Just when you think you've seen all the metaverse has to offer, you and Kasumi stumble upon a mysterious palace in Odaiba. Meanwhile, Dr. Maruki's been having heart-to-heart sessions with your friends, learning about everyone's trauma and regrets. After you blast Yaldabaoth into cosmic dust, you think your journey's done, but there's more. Suddenly, Akechi, who you were pretty sure got killed, shows up alive as a daisy and offers to take your place in custody. If that's not suspicious enough, reality itself starts going wonky after New Year's. Everyone's deepest wishes start magically coming true, and Akechi's walking around free without a care in the world. You team up with Akechi and Kasumi to investigate the Odaiba Palace, and the big reveal is that it belongs to none other than your friendly neighborhood counselor, Dr. Maruki. Using leftover power from Yaldabaoth's defeat, he's determined to create a world where everyone gets their happy ending, whether they want it or not. Kasumi discovers she isn't actually Kasumi at all. She's Sumira, Kasumi's twin sister, who's been living as her dead sibling thanks to Maruki's powers. Maruki, being the considerate reality warper that he is, gives you a choice. Accept his perfect illusion of a world or fight for the messy, painful reality you know. If you choose to accept his reality, you trigger the royal bad ending, where everyone gets their wishes, but it's all fake, like living in a dream you can never wake up from. Being the stubborn rebel that you are, choosing to fight for reality leads to the royal true ending path, helping your friends remember their true selves along the way. And remember Akechi? Well, he's only alive because you wished for it. He convinces you to reject Maruki's reality, even if it means he disappears. In the final showdown, you defeat Maruki, and reality snaps back to normal. Akechi vanishes, and you find yourself back in prison where you belong. Temporarily, of course. But your friends come through again, clearing your name and setting you free. As you prepare to head home, you have to dodge some persistent government agents. Luckily, your Phantom Thief friends create a diversion, and you get a taxi ride from Maruki, who is now apparently good. From godlike being to cab driver is quite the career change. The game ends with Sumire finding you at the station for one last tearful goodbye.
Need a hand?
Dr. Maruki?
You're suggesting we split up? Should we? Here we go!
Come and get us!
Shall we then? There's no charge. If you find yourself struggling in life, you can start over, like me. Remember that. So yeah, if that ends up saving you, then we're square. Good luck.
Damn, man. Those dudes just wouldn't give up.
Wish it went smoother, but I guess this is it.
Be sure to eat well.
We'll see you soon, right?
If you don't come back, we'll find you there.
All right, it's time.
Yeah.
Aw, gotta go already?
We don't make the train schedule.
See you later, my dude!
I'll text you, okay? Come on, sit down.
You taught me to keep my head up, didn't you?
Told you I was coming with you. Ooh.
Take care.
And that brings us to the end of the current Persona series. As always, thank you so much for watching until the end. Please remember to like the video, subscribe if you loved it, and let me know in the comments what your favorite thing about the Persona story was. See ya!